Are you all good?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alrighty. Hello and welcome to the 2022 F1 Preseason Shakedown Special here with the 107% podcast crew. I am the Papaya Menace, Cody Catos Miller, and joining me as usual is the Tifosi fanboy himself, Faxi, the Greek god of this week. I believe you're just procrastinating.
Yeah, procrastination sounds right, considering half of our graphics aren't ready because, I mean, yeah, I'm like Haas, showing up for preseason testing. I'm not ready.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Uh,
Topical. I can at least
very
say I'm
topical. Okay,
topical.
too topical.
Okay.
Well, speaking of topic, let's get back on it. Thank you all for tuning in, whether on Spotify or on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the 107 Podcast on all of them. What do we have first today, Mr. Faxi?
Well, I mean, obviously, we need to talk about the one thing that has dominated the news since really mid 2021. I think it was around either Spa or Spielberg. The 2022 car. We're here. It's ready. We've gone through the private test. We've gone through the public one at Bahrain. I know you
Hey,
and I have
don't
been
let F1 here. You call it a test. It's a shakedown at Barcelona.
fair. Okay, fair.
Since Bahrain paid their big money for them to be the preseason test.
I mean, I would get on the radio and say no, Michael, no, but he's kind of been demoted, so I don't have to worry about that.
Uh, different episode. I don't think we got enough time to just touch that one.
No, that's its whole, and everybody else has already talked about it by now.
Yeah, it's a horse that's been beat very, very dead.
Yeah, the cars all have these gorgeous looks to them. I have been absolutely floored by. I I didn't know how to feel about when I first saw the 2022 car when they showed it off last year. I just looking at it, I was like, this doesn't look like a race car. And I guess I was coming at it from the angle of somebody who's grown up watching IndyCar here in the US.
Was it the rear wing?
The rear wing, yeah, the rear wing did part
Yeah.
of it for me. I'm not even gonna lie. The front wing kind of did a little bit of it for me as well. I've actually got a picture up of the Red Bull right in front of me.
Yeah.
I, yeah, it's
It looked honestly like a Hot Wheels car. Like the demo the demo for the 2022 car looked like a Hot Wheels with the weird like futuristic like wheel covers that's a whole other animal. But it just and it had to be the most sparkly, glittery, silver, like rainbowy thing ever.
I mean, I loved that. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
But it made it seem like a fantasy car versus real.
Fair.
At least at least in my eyes, like that made where it didn't feel like it was, you know, oh, this is, the near future. Like this is what we're getting next year. It was like, oh hey, here's a prototype you're seeing at a car show of one random creation that's never gonna actually happen, but it could come in the future 30 years from now.
And
It
what's
didn't
funny
it,
is it's the kind of thing like you would see at like say the World's Fair 1950
yeah,
for cars of the 2000s.
yeah. It didn't feel like it was how it was actually gonna be.
And then you get
Now,
somebody like Austin Martin with, I mean, I'm looking at their rear wing right now. Just that doesn't even look like a wing.
yeah.
That
It,
looks like a dinner plate. It looks like a serving plate.
yeah. I feel like seeing the renders, I wasn't convinced. Granted, there's some great liveries, which we'll talk on later, but like the renders made things look really weird. And then we saw them out in the track, and between like the side pods and how those looked, actually that was amazing. I think that actually like the creativity and the difference felt like every car had enough of a difference that it was like, okay, hey, there's actually different plans going, not just one kind of standard. People were able to take risks on, what the differences were from the
Take
actual like
take risks within the rules, obviously.
within rules
I mean, and
for
really
now.
quick on that, I will give a massive. I felt like having somebody like Ross Braun lead that group to try to clamp down on the rules before really the teams had a chance to start building the cars and find those loopholes, because I remember that being a massive point of contention for the governing body
Yeah.
was we want to find the rules that they're going to exploit before they do. Obviously, somebody's going to do that, which we're going to talk about here in a second with the side pods
And the mirrors.
and the mirrors too.
The
Yes,
Mercedes mirrors.
and I really have to applaud. You could see the work that Ross Braun and his team put into it, and as a fan, I really like that. Obviously, we're still going to see boundaries get pushed. And I know it's kind of a few dots down, but I think we need to go into it talking about Merc showing up without the side pods and with their mirrors to Bahrain.
I think the side pods especially. I think the mirrors, I have a feeling that's when either everyone's gonna copy or they're gonna outlaw it.
It's T-Wings 2.0.
Yeah. I feel like that it's either gonna be everyone has it or no one has it, like double diffuser, T-Wings, etc. It's gonna be one of those things where I just don't I think it's gonna be standard or banned. It's
On
not
what
gonna be
grounds could you see them banning it?
Ross Braun has pretty much said it's spirit of the rules rather than literal interpretations.
Really?
And
That I did not see.
that's kind of like not word for word, but it's meant to be the rules are always up to interpret and change, and it's more of they're gonna have this wide, broad kind of here's kind of what we're thinking, and as stuff gets developed and changes, they're gonna narrow down the rules more and more because they want to at least give everyone at first creativity. But it feels like everyone's already at the point where I think we're already some concerns brought up by a couple of different teams to the FIA. And I think if FIA says, oh, hey, this is okay, everyone's going to do that. If they say it's not okay, then obviously no one's going to do it. And I think it's going to really just be one of those things. I don't think it's as crazy as like a double diffuser where some teams are going to get it right, some teams are going to get it wrong. It's just going to be everyone has it.
Okay. No, I can definitely see it going either way with that. And you know what? I'm even going to pull up the 2022 concept car. And I mean, just the mirrors are very interesting. I almost want to say that Ross would try to look at it from the angle of, and this is my have no engineering background, anything. So obviously, grain of salt right here. But maybe he'll say, oh, that's creating too much dirty air. Because it looks like disturbed air that's going to be coming off of the mirrors. I realize it's a little bit, but we see how sensitive these cars are. I mean, I go back to near the end of last year when you had Lance Stroll complaining about the flipping helicopter overhead, and it got too close to the track and it was throwing his arrow off during the race, and he had to complain about it. Like, these cars are especially tricky. I mean, you and I saw it, just losing a little bit of the floor, you're done. And
Yeah,
I could see him saying, okay, the mirrors are creating that little bit more of dirty air. We need to go ahead and outlaw them. We're going to say you have to have... Watch him pull something like, oh, you have to have your mirrors coming off of the side pods. What side pods?
exactly. I think when it comes down, the reason why I believe they will get outlawed, banned, whatever word you want to use it for it, is because they are would be considered like an aero purpose, like because they are the parts actually are what's putting them there would count more as a aero part rather than like a mirror mount.
I could see
And
that.
I think that's the part where they'll get them. I know.
It sounds like you're almost starting to build the case against them, almost like the T-Wings got, or the mirrors got as well back in the day,
Yeah,
where they said it was a safety thing.
yeah, and I know that's what Ferrari had put out a statement saying, or something along those lines. Someone from the Ferrari team had mentioned was that belief of they are functioning more as an aero part rather than a mounting for the mirror. I think that's it. Going off of kind of how Ross Braun has kind of made statements and stuff during interviews with him and such, it kind of seems like that's something he would crack down on because it's not spirit of the rules sort of thing.
Yeah. One question I had for you, and this will kind of lead into our next point of it. From all the testing I saw, was Mercedes having any issues with porpoising?
The Probably the worst.
Okay.
From the bits and parts I watched, I was not able to watch in the entire thing because it's a lot of testing. But from seeing their runs, they seem to struggle heavily. And I know reports from the Barcelona runs said they were also one of the worst teams in terms of porpoising,
Well, they
if
didn't
not
have the hidden
possibly the
side.
worst.
They didn't have the hidden side pods yet.
No, so they have both with the minimal side pods and with their normal like first run at it. So it didn't seem to really either fix or change the issue. I'm not sure if it really affected change. It's hard to tell with two very different tracks between Bahrain and Barcelona. But they had it by far the worst. And both McLaren and Alfa Romeo seem to have it the most successful run from right out of the gates. And then
It's funny you say that, and I hate to interject right there. It's funny you say that, considering AlphaTauri had some of the worst porpoising in the first days.
Alfa Romeo, not AlphaTauri.
No, it was AlphaTauri. I remember
Oh,
watching a
yeah,
slow mo
no.
of who was it? I don't think it was Yuki. I think it was Pierre. His head just looked like it was shaking.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they struggled a lot with it in Bahrain. And I know both, and during Barcelona, both Alfa Romeo and McLaren had almost no issues with it right away. And I think Ferrari said they figured it out on like the second day to have a really good fix. Alpine was still struggling a good bit. Who knows what Haas is doing? Because it's Haas. Love you guys, but come on.
And actually, kind of on that note, I'm kind of looking at some news in the background while we're talking. It looks like, and this one flew way under the flippin' radar for me. The FIA has agreed to allow a new part on the car. I'm reading gpblog.com. Where is the thing I just read? Talking about the porpoising. To avoid this problem, the FIA has allowed teams to place a tube between the chassis and the floor at the rear of the car. In this way, the floor is strengthened and the cars bounce less. We already saw the solution at Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, and Haas, and the latter teams to indicate to Auto Motor und Sport that this has completely solved the problem for them. For Mercedes, this was not the case.
That's
A lot of people are pointing at Mercedes saying they're in trouble, and then you've got Hamilton being Hamilton. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that in the he keeps his cards very close to his chest, saying the car in the current state will not win.
I think any team that is still having issues with porpoising will not win races. I know there was a I had first seen it shared on Reddit that someone had collaborated all the data for the turns at Bahrain, and it was Mercedes was very good in the slow corners because of kind of their setup that was needed to kind of combat porpoising. But once you get to the high speed corners, there's a huge drop off. Anyone who was struggling with porpoising was really good in the slow corners, or really bad in the slow corners, but really good in the fast corners
That tells
because of
me.
how their setup could be.
Would you say that's almost looking at ride height then?
It's also probably stiffness.
Yeah, fair. Which I mean,
Because you
as
probably
a
don't want
fan,
to stiff. You
yeah,
probably don't want a stiff of a setup for if you're bouncing a lot.
as a fan, this is making a very intriguing setup going into what we're 3 days away from our first official practice session as we're recording this of the
It is.
2022 season. This is going to be interesting. And even talking about that, I guess we should get into the results from Bahrain days 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if we're being honest, like the big things that are going to be, at least in my eyes, was one, the impact of Daniel Ricciardo missing all of Bahrain testing.
I will get into that here in a little bit. I have a whole little bit of thoughts, and that's actually going to talk about when we get to our top and bottom 5.
Definitely. The other thing I think is Haas? Question mark?
I think
coming out of no one, Kevin Magnussen coming back, which
K-Mag supremacy, as you put it in the Discord the other day. K-Mag
K-Mag
supremacy.
supremacy, especially even more so given the person he's going to replace, which not even going to go into that minus maybe a little at the end, but whole other animal. But coming in, setting the fastest time, albeit at night on softer tires on a completely worn-in track. Can't say I expected even with all of those extra conditions, but I was very, very pleasantly surprised to see that. I'm so happy they made the decision to bring him back. I think that is an absolute great fit, and I think is one of the biggest things. For me, the other crazy thing is the discrepancy between AlphaTauri and Red Bull in terms of performance, similar tires on what appear to be kind of similar like runs that they had planned. Seemed to be a huge difference. Along with their mini sector times were also absolutely completely different. Even if you're looking at their fastest runs, like even some of Red Bull's slower runs in comparison to some of AlphaTauri's faster runs, well, it had a huge gap.
And I mean, I'm looking here. AlphaTauri 370 laps over the 3 days. Their fastest lap was right at a 133 from Yuki. Compared to Red Bull, they did 319, a 131.72 from our current reigning champion, Max Verstappen. Please, nobody send me hate mail for saying that phrase.
Yeah.
It's and I mean, yes, AlphaTauri's a sister team, but they do function individually. They have, they're running out of the old Minardi factory in Italy. Is it a massive discrepancy? Absolutely. I'll be honest, it's going to suck for AlphaTauri to miss the mark. And after we do the livery, when we get into the World Constructor Championships, you'll see my thoughts on them and how highly I think of them right now.
Yeah. I think if you had, I know like the only thing that comes in my eyes with testing is a very drastic overreaction, no matter what it is. Like we can make all the speculations we want, all the assumptions we want, and it's like more than likely we'll be pretty wrong. But
Yeah.
like if it isn't disheartening to see that gap, and especially now, I mean, you think of how Red Bull won drivers, however that last race ended. Max Verstappen was declared the champion. So their thought is now is let's go for for constructors and drivers. So yeah, they are kind of sister teams. AlphaTauri, let's be honest, is a little bit of the younger sibling in that relationship, and is not going to get the full resources that Red Bull does. It just never will.
Now,
So
let me ask you this on the discrepancy real quick.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's more AlphaTauri taking a step back or Red Bull jumping that far ahead?
I think it's neither. Neither, but both, but neither. I think it's resources being put more into Red Bull.
I mean, that's always
I think
been the
that's
case.
I guess Maya is the more important thing.
When it comes from Daddy Red Bull, I mean, they're obviously going to give their top team. Speaking of Daddy Red Bull and AlphaTauri, you and I 100% disagree on our rankings for the liveries. And I, to this day, will say you're 100% wrong. AlphaTauri has the worst livery.
I will fight you on that. I will fight you on that. Because, again, I don't think it's AlphaTauri that is the uglier looking of the Red Bull teams.
You have a bad attitude, and it's not even my pure, unadulterated love for the man, the myth, the legend, the Sergio Perez. I think you're just a hater.
Oh, well, let's take this. Let's go into our livery rankings.
Okay. I'll let you
Per-
start so everybody can hear you be wrong.
All right, all right. We're gonna do this.
we're gonna do this now. For anybody listening, we have added in the variations that we've also seen, because obviously we had the all pink Alpine, and then we had the half and half. Did we get just the regular Alpine colors, or did I miss that?
Those are the two. They're running mostly blue with pink, or they're running their all pink.
Okay, that's I mean pop off, I guess.
Yeah, we are not including the alpha camo, or
Which
the
sucks.
or the McLaren Shadow, which is their esports livery. At
They-
least I didn't. I don't know about you.
They said that's an esports only livery.
It is an esports only livery
I'm blaming EA Sports for that.
in the game, man.
All right,
Alrighty, so
please.
starting off, my best, honestly, without even an absolute close second, is the Williams livery.
Ooh.
Went from arguably probably my least favorite livery last year.
Wasn't the worst last year.
I'm not counting Haas, because it's usually always the worst.
Okay. Okay, you got me there.
But of the other ones, I think it's one of the worst liveries in our in that turbo era of vehicles of F1. I think it was that bad. I really did not like it absolutely at all. To this year being probably my favorite livery on any racing series,
Okay.
whether it be NASCAR, Indy, anything. I think is that good.
Okay.
Number 2, Alfa Romeo. Came in very, very late, but I think looks absolutely gorgeous.
I will not disagree with you. I have softened over that. I know you and I argued over theirs, but I have softened on that.
I think it's simple, it's clean, it's really just fits the Alpha design and such. It's great.
Okay.
And then my number 3 is going to be good old British Racing Green, Aston Martin. I think the no longer having BWT as a sponsor and be able to go fully into the Aston Martin identity is incredible.
That line
I
down
think
the side looks gorgeous.
it looks so good. I think it's what everyone wanted last year and we didn't get because of BWT.
Fair.
Now my bottom 3.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Before you give it, we are not going to include Haas with their old sponsor.
Good to know, because that would have been last.
We have thrown them away completely. They are gone. Bye. See ya. That is terminated. So we will not see that livery at all. So I feel like you and I can erase that from our memories.
Trust me, I'm doing whatever I possibly can to. Last, it's still going to be Haas without that Euro Collie logo.
Wow. I didn't know you had that bad a taste.
It's for the same reasons why I have the Red Bull as second to last.
Get out.
It is because it's a new era. It is a new whole redesign of
It's classic.
the cars. Hey, you can have something be classic and improve on it. Look at Aston Martin. Look at Ferrari. They took something classic and they improved on it. The only thing Red Bull changed was a number on the vehicle and then added some more crappy sponsors.
I hate it when you're right.
I want if this was a still the last year of the previous era of cars, cool. I get it, wanting to kind of keep things out, change the sponsors, cool, whatever. But it's a brand new era of F1. Make a damn change, damn it! Holy shit! I mean, come on. If Ferrari can,
attitude, it's fine.
If Ferrari can make a drastic change, the most iconic looking cars in Formula One for
Ferrari's
many
not
people,
even that drastic of a change. They get a shade darker.
But the black, The black.
Every
I think
car's adopting the black. I forget who it was. I think it was Champion that tweeted it that said, we've started down the path to where here in like 10 years, all the cars are going to be black with like one thin line of a color to be able to tell them apart.
they're all blue right now.
I mean, it's going to be the Braun GP cars everywhere, except instead of white, they're black.
You say that, yet we have Alfa Romeo having probably no black. Alpine being whatever Alpine colors it is at this point.
They got
Merc went away from black.
Merc going away from the black ones and going back to the silver arrows is why they're not on my top 3.
I agree. So if we're counting my overall rankings, not including Haas with Yokali, I have Williams at 1, Alpha at 2, Aston Martin at 3, AlphaTauri at 4, fight me, Ferrari at 5, McLaren at 6, Mercedes at 7,
Oof.
Alpine Blue and Pink at 8, Alpine Pink at 9, Red Bull at 10, and Haas without Yokali at 11.
Okay.
What do you got?
Okay. These might surprise you. In fact, I know they will.
All right, let's hear it.
You know what the worst one is?
Unfortunately,
It's the AlphaTauri.
you're wrong, but okay.
And I didn't explain this on purpose because I knew we were going to talk about it. Honestly, I just don't like how the paint and the AlphaTauri look on the side pod. That's it. Like,
of all things, what?
I know. It's an okay, like, I like how all the cars look. It's just, I look at that, I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, I can't fall in love with this. I can't. It looks bland.
For me, I really
For you want to smack the hell out of me.
I love the lines on it that you get of how it kind of partially rolls to curvature, that sort of thing, of the side pods, and I like the rear wing. I don't know. Somehow I really like it.
Nice. I will give it that.
Have you seen the front on view of it?
Yes.
The front on view is
Still
what sold me on it.
Still not a fan.
I understand. To each their own. I mean,
it's a nice looking car.
Red Bull's the worst of the two. It's okay.
So worst one, we got that. This was a hard list for me to work on. Obviously, one of the options is gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Second worst is going to be the blue and pink Alpine.
Okay.
I either do the all blue or the all pink. I don't like the mesh too much. And I'm going to say this again because it's the same thing whenever I tell people I like cream soda more than I like Dr. Pepper. They're like, what, you don't like Dr. Pepper? I fucking love Dr. Pepper. I like how all these cars look with their paints. It's just if I have to rank them, obviously I'm going to like one more than the other. And just I don't like the blue and pink Alpine as much. Now, I'm going to let you answer this for me, and I'll tell you if you're right. What do you think my third least favorite of all of the paint schemes are?
For some reason, I want to say you don't like the Ferrari one.
I'm actually going to go Mercedes here.
Okay, I get it.
And honestly, it's because I liked the black. I liked the black and their green, blue more than I liked the silver arrows. It's just they ran that one off livery and then they did the all black. I know it was 2021. Wasn't it 2020 as well?
2020 and 2021.
Okay, yeah, I loved that. So
Yep.
yeah. So you know what's above that?
Is it gonna be the other Alpine?
It's going to be Red Bull.
Good choice.
And I am saying that only because of their main title sponsor on the side I have to work with every day in my IRL job. No, I mean, I like the classic look of the Red Bulls. But yeah, I fully agree with you. I feel like they could have capitalized on something and they just didn't. I like how it looks. It just looks stagnant.
I think for me, what makes me dislike the Red Bull so much is I've seen
Is your bad attitude?
how,
We know.
I've seen how good it can be. The white Red Bull last year. I've seen how good it can be.
Oh, if they did the white Red Bull, done. Number one.
Yeah,
Sign it,
exactly.
send it, kiss it on the forehead, tell it it's a good
Number
boy.
2 behind Williams. I think the Williams is that good. That's for me how much I like it. But but doing that good of a design and then coming back with the same thing, like, come on, come on.
And I'll run through these quickly so we can kind of get
Okay.
through a little bit of these. Number one is going to be the Aston Martin. I've been saying it from the beginning. I love it. I think it's the color that does it for me. Number two is going to be McLaren.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
You
don't
didn't
like it
expect
that
that,
much.
did you?
I don't like it that much.
I like it. Number 3, Williams.
Okay.
Number 4 will be the Alpha. Actually, no, I had Ferrari in front of Alpha.
Okay.
So Ferrari, Alpha, and then down into the rest of the mess.
Yeah. I think we had a very kind of similar top section, and I guess similar grouping of the bottom. Like we each kind of had one of those kind of like a little mix up, a little
You just
different.
didn't
But
expect me to have Red Bull at the bottom.
I expect it in the middle of the road. I didn't honestly. I'm more surprised at McLaren being that high
I like it.
because I don't like it.
I like it.
Really don't.
They changed it up. They did great, and I honestly want them to do the Gulf paint again for Monaco. But beggars can't be choosers, right there.
Yeah, I don't like the blockiness of the new one. It feels the lines. I don't like it. Doesn't feel very like it. This whole kind of iteration of the cars seem to be very flowy, and it doesn't feel flowy, and that's for me what gives it a huge downgrade.
Fair. I'll give you that.
Alrighty, now probably the most fun part,
Our top
even
5
more
and
so than
bottom
livery
5.
rankings.
Top 5 and bottom 5 for the World Drivers' Championship.
All right, top 5. Actually, here, let's just start with this. One, I don't think it's going to be even close. If Merck finds the solution to purposing, Lewis by a landslide.
Okay, but so you're saying Lewis, no matter what?
If they find a solution to porpoising.
No. You got to give me who is your definitive is going to win the 2022. You can't give me this if they find the porpoising fix or not.
But I think that's so crucial. I think if we
It is.
if we assume that they do, which they eventually will.
So if they don't, where does Lewis finish?
I don't think he's in top 5 if they don't. From what I've seen, porpoising
Are
is
you
that
high?
much. Porpoising seems to be that much of an issue, where if they do not find a fix,
They're sandbagging.
I don't think they. You can't sandbag how it looks on video.
I think
That's like that's like looking at an X-ray and someone saying, "Oh yeah, we got a freaking broken arm," and they're like, "No, you're sandbagging."
Listen, let me feel like I'm right, okay? No.
I think again. I think if we assume everyone figures out porpoising,
Yeah. Assuming we get that fix, who's your top 5?
Lewis by a landslide, Max at 2, Charles 3,
Ooh.
George Russell at 4, and Checo rounding out the top 5.
Wow. You don't even have. Ooh. Ooh, my friend.
I think it's a very definitive Lewis at 1, Max definitively at 2, and I think Leclerc and Russell battle for third, with Checo on the outside looking in at 5th.
Okay. This is tough because I'm going to give you my definitive here.
This is how it's going to happen. This time next year, we're going to see this as 2022.
The 2022 review is going to see. We're going to call back to this moment right here where I said Lewis Hamilton wins his 8th title.
Huh?
Lewis, Max, Charles. So we agree top 3. Lando, Checo.
Do you have George on 6?
Yep. That's my
Yeah.
wild card is, and I'm probably going to regret not putting George in the top 5. I'll say that right now, but I'm
Yeah.
kind of going out there with my picks.
Mhm.
I just saying that I know I'm going to regret George not being top 5. He's going to blow us all away. Watch him
Oh,
actually win it all.
I honestly,
Is George okay? Let me ask you this: who's your dark horse to win it all?
I think it's Charles.
Okay.
I, I, I don't see it being George. I don't think George is going to beat Lewis. I just don't think he's going to do it. So for me, that always puts like that hurts him so much.
Fair. Fair.
And I think Max could do it, but I don't think he's a reigning champion. It's not a dark horse.
Yeah.
So that brings us to, either Mark and Red Bull second driver or other teams, other team driver. I think it's Charles. I think Ferrari can do it this year.
Okay.
Now, the more fun part.
Yeah, this one I am set on.
I
I actually thought about this in the shower, and I'm 100% set on what I'm about to say.
All right, you go first. You seem very confident. Let's hear yours.
Bottom to top.
Yep.
Zhou.
Yep.
I said it, and I'm still wavering on this next one. It's going to be Zhou, definitely at the bottom.
Hmm?
K-Mag.
Ooh.
King Latifi.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm reading these backwards. Hold on. It's definitely Zhou at the bottom. It's going to go Zhou, Albon, Schumi, K-Mag, Bottas.
Yeah.
I hate saying that.
I think if you'd asked me this 2 weeks ago, before any of the testing, I would have agreed on Valtteri in the bottom 5.
I hate this.
Seeing how they've done lately, I'm pleasantly surprised. Don't get me wrong, I still have Guan Yu Zhou in 20th.
Now,
And-
we also need to add the stipulation. These are the full-timers.
Yep. Kubica 16?
Get out.
Can we... Piastri, if he replaces Daniel Ricciardo this weekend?
I actually looked that up. It looks like Daniel's going to be good to go.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be back.
Yeah.
Okay. Guan Yu Zhou 20th.
Okay.
Latifi 19th.
Okay.
Mick 18th.
Okay.
Stroll 17th.
Oh, shit.
Hey Mag 16th.
Wow. This man just bodied somebody he hasn't even met. Oh.
Aston Martin, from what I've seen, again, this is our testing overreaction that is inevitable every single
they
year.
were awful.
They looked fucking terrible.
They were awful. They're fat. So, just to kind of give you a little bit there. Just hold on. You want to know something fun? Wait, did Joe run Williams laps this last week?
Nope. Show ran Alpha's laps.
Really? Because Alpha F1 put Joe as the fastest lap for Williams. I'm not even joking.
Oh, that's surprising.
And it threw me off. Aston Martin's best lap all weekend, 339 laps run. Best lap, 133.821 from Sebastian.
Yep.
Which we expect. Williams' fastest was 133.9.
Yep.
That's... The fuck is going on over there?
Yeah.
What is going on at Silverstone?
I think Albon has the driving prowess to pull some points, which I think kind of puts him out of the bottom 5.
He'll finish with at most 2.
Yeah, but you tell me that's gonna be like. I think
fair.
I think this might be a year where everyone scores or damn near close to it.
Okay.
I think it's first year on new regs. Historically, new regs, it's either very top heavy or spread very even, like not evenly, but spread out a lot of random points distributions.
Fair.
I don't think Joe scores a point.
Okay.
I don't think Latifi scores a point. I don't think we will. I don't think the Williams is that good.
They will not score a point. Williams will not score a point. Okay.
They
You
will.
know what? Fuck it. Let's get into teams. Give me your top.
Okay.
Give me your teams.
Alrighty. So, I think my big thing is, I think Lewis is gonna have such a good team that it's gonna be a Merc, just
We agree
wiping
there.
the floor.
Merc number 1. Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be close.
Is your number 2 Red Bull?
It is.
Okay. Fair. So we agree still.
I mean, you have the reigning champion. You're gonna pull something out of it.
And now this is where we're probably going to start deviating. Who's your number 3?
I have Ferrari at 3.
Okay, so we agree top 3.
I think if we're looking at reason being is Dan Ricciardo showing last year had a hard time adjusting to a car, plus missing half of testing. I think it's gonna hurt.
That's going to handicap the hell out of them at the beginning of the season, but I think they're going to rebound and finish 4th.
I also have McLaren at 4th.
Okay, we're pretty good at this.
Yeah. And then I think Ferrari has a more well-rounded driver pairing.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of Dan Ricciardo's slow adaptation. I love Danny Rick. Don't get me wrong.
America's favorite driver.
But I think missing testing and just being a slow adapter to cars, I think it's going to hurt them a lot.
Fair.
Alpine at 5.
Wrong.
Or 4. 5? 5.
Yeah, we're at 5.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Who do you have?
AlphaTauri.
After seeing them testing, I'm scared, man.
And the reason why I say that, Alpine's not going to pull off a miracle win this season and get those needed 25 points.
I don't think they need to. I think Alonso is going to get them the stable points. I have Stroll performing like dog shit, for lack of a better word. And I don't think Vettel's going to kind of chip and chip and chip. And Alonso's going to chip and chip, but then get a big, maybe a podium, a couple top 4s, 5s. And I don't think Vettel can do that. I think Aston Martin looks a little questionable.
I'm gonna reverse it. I'm actually gonna go in step with you. I am gonna go ahead and say Alpine, then AlphaTauri.
Yep. And then Alfa Romeo.
Yep.
Williams, Haas. Because I think...
Wait, where's Aston Martin?
After AlphaTauri. Merc, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Alpine, AlphaTauri, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, Williams, Haas.
Alpha in front of Aston.
Alfa Romeo in front of Aston?
I think so.
I think when you're going to have arguably the worst driver on the grid with Guan Yu Zhou, I don't think it's arguably. I think now with no longer having Haas's second driver.
I realize my driver lineups kind of contradict how I'm doing with the teams, but I feel more confident in my teams than I do my drivers. So
I feel more confident in my drivers than my team. So
Aston Martin's going to have an awful season. I agree with you there fully.
I think I completely agree. I think Seb's going to pull some bullshit off his ass.
Okay.
I think Seb and Valtteri are going to be pretty close. I think
Seb is going to be the lion's share of Aston Martin's points, which is going to be the problem.
Stroll's going to have 2 or 3 points.
And Stroll will always have a ride because Daddy's cash. I hate to say it.
To be fair, he is a better driver than someone else who got in on Daddy's cash. I'd rather have him than someone else.
We all would.
Thankfully, we do have him instead of someone else.
Why are you talking about Kubica like that? I'm just kidding.
I wish we had. Rob is love.
Okay.
I think Zhou is going to be and Stroll are going to be equivalents.
Okay.
And I think because of that, comparing Seb versus Valtteri, I think Seb does a better job of making something out of nothing than Valtteri does. As shown by his time with Mercedes, Valtteri, does not do good trying to come through traffic.
No, he does not. He is awful in traffic.
And he's in Alfa Romeo. All he's going to have is going through traffic. And that's why I have...
I guess kind of tangential question to you. Do they build the car around Joe or do they build it around Valtteri?
They're only having Joe for how long? No, you build around Pourchaire.
Look at you. Okay.
I mean, you're going to use Valtteri's expertise. You're going to use Valtteri, his knowledge of, hey, what worked for Merc. He's not an idiot. Like he's going to know, stuff that maybe Alpha doesn't have that experience. Especially now they're kind of more separate relationship with Ferrari. You're gonna work with Porsche and you're gonna work with Valtteri and you're gonna build a great car that I think can compete in 2-3 years. I don't think it's now.
Okay.
I don't think they're even a midfield. Like
I feel like this is supposed to be the year where my time is now.
I don't think so. If your idea was
the new
if your idea was my
regulations?
time, if your idea was my time is now, they wouldn't have signed Guan Yu Zhou. They have Guan Yu Zhou for his money, so they can put more money and time and effort into the future. I think 2-3 years. I think once the kind of the revision of the current regulations is that always happens after a couple of years. That's when they make a move. At that point, you're going to have Porsche, and you're going to have either a veteran driver in Valtteri, or you're going to have someone else. I mean, Valtteri signed what, a 3-year deal? I mean, granted, it's F1, so they're all 1-year deals with question marks for every other year. But like, I don't see. I don't think this is a year where Alpha can compete and be anything more than a above average bottom tier team.
Okay.
And then Williams and Haas.
Okay.
Do you think we're gonna have any first time race winners this year?
Lando. George.
Do you think Carlos wins?
Lando and George.
I have George and Carlos. I don't have Lando winning this year.
You're an awful McLaren stan. I hope you know that.
You're an awful Ferrari stan.
Well,
You also put your own team's driver as not winning.
Charles is going to win this season.
Yeah.
Charles is going to win. He's going to get one, and I watch it be Monaco. I will jump through my flipping computer screen.
I would be so happy. I would love to see Charles win at Monaco. I don't think it's because of Lando though. I think it's because I think McLaren is going to take a step back this year.
Okay.
I just have Ferrari is taking a
It's
huge
gonna
leap
be
forward. We'll see. Anyone else? Think there's any other, a Stroll, Sonoda, kind of those
Sonoda first podium.
Sonoda first podium. Okay.
It's going to be a freak rain
Russian GP 2.0.
shine.
Spa?
Hamilton's the only car on the grid. Hungry type situation.
I still have PTSD from the Valtteri punt. Don't bring up bad memories, please.
He punted everybody.
Hold
That's
damn
how I
grid.
feel. Also, we're gonna see. I would love to see Haas do something.
Me as well.
I would love to see them do something. If not,
I
for
want a
K-Mag,
K-Mag
then
win.
for Schumi.
I want a K-Mag win.
Not even Schumi. He doesn't have the arrogance of his dad, and you can't tell me I'm wrong there.
Is that a negative for him?
That's not a negative.
Does he need that cocky confidence though?
No, he doesn't.
But I feel like he's just I don't know.
I feel like
I feel like he's kind of, that guy who's just sitting on the bench and kind of just like going with it and kind of just, I mean, I think it was early on where he wasn't fitting in his seat right. And he didn't even think to speak up about it. I feel like he's too quiet. I feel like to be a good driver, you need to have some arrogance of, I'm damn good at what I do. And I don't think he has that.
I hate to accept that you're right here, but you are very right.
You need to quit admitting I'm right. Otherwise, I'm just going to let it all go to my head.
Unfortunately, it has.
It already had. I would love to see a K-Mag podium, at least. K-Mag podium would be amazing. I'm so happy to see him back. Makes me so happy. It's going to take a fucking miracle for him to even get a podium.
Rain, shine, Valtteri punt.
Race
everything.
being canceled after 2 laps at Spa.
I
Hey,
don't count that as George's first podium. I think he gets his
no,
first race podium in Bahrain. I do have a question on that. I know we're going to do our actual preview for Bahrain in our next episode, but just really quick on that topic, how excited are you as an American to know that our first race of the season's at 10 a.m.? 10 a.m. Central, I should say.
I'm not complaining. I'm never gonna complain about a nice race.
How many races did I miss last year and had to show an hour late because I woke up at a bad time?
I mean, how many races did I have to not say anything in Discord because I'd already watched them by the time you woke up?
Well,
It was a
and
lot.
I'm looking at the beginning of the season. We got 10 a.m. Central for Bahrain.
Yep.
The Dirty Money Grand Prix is going to be at noon.
Ooh.
And then I was actually talking to my roommate about this because I was talking to her dog. So I'm like, you want to wake up at 6 with me for a race? And she's like, why the hell would you do that? I'm like, what? I could just stay up late to watch Australia because that's at midnight. That's going to be a fun one. Emilia Romagna, 8 a.m. And then we get Miami at 2:30. That's going to be fun. It's like they moved back all the start time. Oh, wait. It's because we're in the middle of the time change, I think. Because, like, Spain, 8 a.m. Monaco, 8 a.m. And then you get Azerbaijan, it's at 6.
But I think with the emergence of the U.S. market that has come ever since Drive to Survive came out, I wouldn't be surprised if they delayed everything by an hour just to give a little bit of help to Americans.
Fair. Now, instead of what we originally had, because I feel like you and I are kind of not speaking about Russia and that one driver.
Yeah.
So I do want to actually sub something in real quick while we're wrapping up. Obviously, the Russian Grand Prix is canceled indefinitely. Period. End of story.
Yep.
Do you bring back Turkey full time? Yes or no?
No.
Do you bring back Turkey this year to fill that gap?
This year, yes.
Why?
Because of the location of where everything is, it makes sense. It is a track that is known, etc. And I think it fits with kind of that travel. I'd rather have a new track than a double up. If I'm being honest, I love some of the doubles we've gotten over the past few years. I'd rather have a new track. I feel like Turkey has given us some decent races the past 2 years.
It has, especially with the oil 2020 track.
The Valtteri merry-go-round.
His floor was damaged. I will give that to him.
His wet driving is damaged. It seems to be a pattern.
Oof. I will personally say don't replace it. Give him a break, because I believe that was supposed to be a triple header. You got Belgian.
There is a break. There is a break right before already.
Well, yeah, even it's the summer break, and then you got the Belgian on August 28th. You've got Zandvoort September 4th, Italy September 11th. Give them an extra little break before we go to Singapore on the 2nd.
I mean, you have almost a whole month if you have the break. You have what, 3 weeks or so?
Give them the 3 weeks, because it's going to be a very intense end, because you got Singapore back to back with Japan. Yep. And then you get the sweep through the Americas. You got US.
You get 2 week break again,
which is perfect, because then you get US. Then we get another Mexican GP around Dia de los Muertos, which is just mwah.
Perfect.
And then for the first time in forever, I am not screaming at Formula One's logistics, and they actually put North America, South America all in the same little sprint, because you get US, Mexican, Brazilian. And I was an idiot. I'm like, why not put the Canadian before the US? Because it's getting close to winter, and that makes sense.
I mean, hey, let's hit some snow tires on them fucker. Let's see how it goes.
I don't like 1 week between Brazil and Abu Dhabi. That's a hell of a flight at the end of the season. I feel like logistically they need to make up for that.
I mean, I know that's only a travel based, But if you look at the stuff will be coming from Japan on October 9th, and we'll have a month to get all the stuff to Abu Dhabi. So all the stuff will already be on its way while they go through the Americas.
Fair.
Because I know they usually run a couple sets of stuff minus like the main shit.
Okay.
I still want to see Turkey. I think right before you still get 2 week breaks. 2 weeks you run a triple header, 2 week break, double header, 2 week break, double header to finish out.
Okay.
I think that big of a gap again, just only 3 races later, I think is after the summer break, I think is too much. I think if maybe it had been like, say the summer break had happened, in July rather than, or been take a good chunk of July off rather than a good chunk of August off. Okay, yeah, I can see it. It's kind of gives you a little like final push break sort of thing. But I think it's so late into the season, I'd rather not see it. But I think Turkey makes the most sense, or Qatar.
I would rather Turkey than Qatar. I did not like that track.
So would I. I think on a permanent basis, give me Malaysia. Give it to me.
Ooh,
give it to me.
Okay.
That's what I want. I mean, think of that. Is your Asian kind of, you go from your whole Asia kind of set into your America set. You go Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, into the US, Mexico City, Brazil. And then you round it out at the most boring track, Abu Dhabi. Unless it comes down to the very last race and Max and Lewis are doing Max and Lewis shit.
Fair.
And I think that for me, if I could tweak one thing, is the ideal tweak to right now. And that's not counting swapping Monaco for a track you actually can race on.
I'm keeping Monaco just because I think Ferrari will get the win.
Charles Leclerc.
I guess final minutes here as we're wrapping up. A few things I wanted to throw at you real quick. What are you watching this weekend besides the race? And you have to give me a really snap judgment. Who is your winner of the IndyCar Series? Who's your winner of NASCAR this year?
All right. Well, obviously, we got Indy back.
I blindsided you with those 3, obviously.
I mean, I'm always happy to have more Indy. We got our second race coming up. It was nice seeing Scott McLaughlin get the win in the first one.
I have been a Scott McLaughlin fan since he was in Supercars. I do keep up with the Supercar series.
You definitely follow it more than I do. Are we talking my hope for a winner here in Indy?
No.
Or are we talking?
Who's your winner? Who's your logical winner for Indy? Who's your logical winner for NASCAR? And what races are you watching this weekend? What are you watching overall this weekend?
This week it's going to be Indy and F1. I think are the 2 I'm going to focus on. I usually catch the highlights on NASCAR because there's just too much shit to watch on the weekend if I don't.
Fair.
I want Roman to win. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. I think realistically you get either, I think Herta could possibly pull something off. I think my surprise winner this year is going to be Rinus VeeKay.
Okay.
I think that's the hope. NASCAR, who fucking knows? If we're being honest here,
true.
Who fucking knows? I feel like it is the biggest thing you can go as a complete coin flip. Who knows what's going to happen? Fair. You're going to have the same drivers, I feel like, year in, year out, who are going to be a huge threat. And I think, especially this year, of all. Fair. I think Chase Briscoe getting the win this past weekend was huge, though. And I think could pull something off this year, but we'll see.
This weekend, I have to watch Indy because it's at the best track on the IndyCar circuit.
Ooh.
The Texas Motor Speedway. My girlfriend does literally live next door to it. So if I wanted to go to the race, I could just park there and walk over.
Didn't a fellow Papaya Menace win there just
Oh
last year?
yeah, a certain Pato
Yeah.
Award. Championship for IndyCar this year. Herda.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so. He's gonna win it, and that's gonna give him his super license. He has.
He will get anyway with the new agreement that McLaren has to run them FP1s.
Well, you also have to get the points too, like overall.
That gives points. That gives points.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he's gonna win it and get the points overall. I think
Yeah.
he's got it. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it to Colton.
Okay.
I am a huge Scott McLaughlin fan. Obviously, as I've said, Pato, Herda, I am a fan of. Really, I can't find somebody I don't like. And I think next episode we need to talk about Roman,
Jimmy Johnson.
and we need to talk about some of the indie guys specifically on episode 1 and
The Indy special.
the indie special. As we're
Hey, we got an Indy 500 special coming up.
As we're wrapping up Bahrain, we need to talk about some of the links back to F1.
For sure.
NASCAR,
100%.
I followed it for years. I still loosely follow it. I think it's going to be Chase Elliott, championship number 2. Hendrick is way too powerful.
Mhm.
It's almost disgusting how powerful they are. I think it's going to be Chase, then Kyle Larson, 1-2,
Okay.
with Alex Bowman finishing in the top 5. They're the team to beat, period, end of story. It's not even a driver thing. It's a ownership thing.
I don't care who wins as long as it's not Kyle Busch. But
Oh God, we do agree on something. Yeah, this weekend I'm watching I'm watching the race at Texas Motor Speedway.
who wins? Who wins this weekend?
Who wins?
For Indy.
Pato. He gets a second.
You're gonna take Pato?
I'm gonna take Pato.
Scott Dixon at Texas, man.
Get out. I'm
No,
just kidding.
no,
One of
no.
my favorite moments ever of a race that I've seen live happened with IndyCar at Texas. So my late dad was a big Jeff Ward fan, old motocross driver. He raced a limited Indy schedule, and he found out him and I randomly got Indy tickets. This is like years ago. We randomly got tickets to go watch Indy at Texas Motor Speedway. The night races there are fucking phenomenal.
I bet.
And we watched 3 cars all finish within a tenth of each other, with Jeff Ward winning by the nose. I have never seen a grown man lose his utter crap like my dad did that night. It was wonderful, and it was one of the greatest things. So yeah, that's what I'm watching. Got date night 2 with the girlfriend, so I'm not watching too much past that. And really just outside of all of racing and everything, just grinding more in Destiny 2.
Got to join the Lost Ark addiction as well.
Ugh, I'm so sorry. Too many addictions. You want to go ahead and sign us off?
Can do. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, whether on YouTube, Spotify, whatever, your friends, YouTube or Spotify, for joining us with what we have lovingly referred to as Episode 0, our 2022 F1 Preseason Shakedown special, here with us, the 107% podcast crew. I am the Papaya Mass, Cody Cowles Miller, and our Tifosi fanboy here is Faxi, the great god of procrastinating, and we are signing off. Make sure to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the 107 podcast on all of them, and we will see you guys in the next one.
We're late, but we'll always be there. See y'all.